So the botanists served two masters. On the one hand, they were members of an international research community, working together to add to mankind's understanding of nature, participants in a scientific revolution in which direct observation finally triumphed over received wisdom. On the other hand, they were expected to do their best to ensure that their own country would benefit the most from the new plants. Robert Kidd, a British Army officer stationed in India who founded Calcutta Botanic Gardens in 1787, summed this up when he wrote that the gardens were established not for the purpose of collecting rare plants as things of curiosity or furnishing articles for the gratification of luxury, but for establishing a stock for disseminating such articles as may prove beneficial to the inhabitants, as well as the natives of Great Britain, and which ultimately may tend to the extension of the national commerce and riches. Colonialism, commerce, and science went hand in hand. The number of plants a nation had at its disposal and its botanists' ability to grow them outside their usual habitats demonstrated that nation's technical prowess. Botany was regarded as the big science of its day, an indication of a country's might and sophistication, just as mastery of nuclear science or space technology is thought to be today. All this meant that the pineapple presented to Charles II was more than a mere fruit. It was a vivid symbol of his power. As European explorers, colonists, botanists, and traders sought out new plants, learned how to nurture them, and worked out where else in the world they might also thrive, they reshaped the world's ecosystems. The Columbian exchange of food crops between the Old and New Worlds, in which wheat, sugar, rice, and bananas moved west, and maize, potatoes, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, and chocolate moved east, to list just a handful of examples in each direction, was a big part of the story, but not the only part. Europeans also moved crops around within the Old and New Worlds, transplanting Arabian coffee and Indian pepper to Indonesia, for example, and South American potatoes to North America. Of course, crops had always migrated from one place to another, but never with such speed, on such a scale, or over such large distances. The post-Columbian stirring of the global food pot amounted to the most significant reordering of the natural environment by mankind since the adoption of agriculture. New foods from foreign lands slotted into previously underexploited ecological niches, increasing the food supply in many cases. This was true of potatoes and maize in parts of Eurasia, peanuts in Africa and India, and bananas in the Caribbean, for example. Sometimes new crops were hardier than local ones. Sweet potatoes from the Americas caught on in Japan because they could survive the typhoons that occasionally destroyed the rice crop. And cassava, also from the Americas, was adopted